It's like slightly conspicuous, but like who really cares?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream today. We have Man City going up against Olympique Lyonnais, or Lyon as they're better known, in a Champions League quarterfinal here. Actually, going to be the last quarterfinal. The winner of this match will move on to play Bayern Munich, who, as we saw yesterday, absolutely annihilated Barcelona in what will be remembered as a historic night in world football. Winning that one 8-2. Teams are coming out here right now on the CBS All Access stream. So once again, for those new to my channel, I am an aspiring broadcaster, and so I'm trying to offer alternative commentary of the match, play-by-play, and inserting my own color since I don't have a partner in the casting booth with me like they do on the stream. I can't show the match because, of course, broadcasting rights are owned by CBS. So please do go to CBS All Access to access the match, and you can either listen to me or watch the match on the side and listen to me or watch my video to hear my commentary of the match. So that's what we will be offering here today. As you see, we have the lineups set up here on the screen. So pretty strong lineup set out by both teams, as you would expect in these knockout Champions League matches. Once again, similar to the last two matches, there are no two legs because of the COVID break. This is a one-off, so it will be played like a final. But we can see for Manchester City, you got Ederson in goal. Typical back four here: Kyle Walker, Eric Garcia, Aymeric Laporte, and João Cancelo. Cancelo's a little interesting there, going in on the left. Typically plays, as a right wing back, but Zinchenko and Mendy have been uninspiring and potentially injured right now. I got a midfield three of Fernandinho, Rodri, and Gundogan, which is actually pretty defensive from Pep. A little bit surprising here in terms of Fernandinho and Rodri kind of operating in similar roles. We have De Bruyne, Gab Jesus, and Raheem Sterling up front, so no surprises there. And on the side of Lyon, looks like they'll be coming out in a 3-5-2 here today. So coming across the back, we'll go through the three centers first, and then we'll talk about how the setup works. So we have Fernando Marcelo, and Jason Denayer here in the back, sort of three center backs. Leo Dubois and Maxwell Cornet will be the outside wing backs, who will be part of sort of the 3 or the 5. Houssem Aouar, Bruno Guimaraes, and Maxime Caqueret are in midfield trio, with Memphis Depay and Karl Toko Ekambi starting up front. So we'll be what looks to be a pretty traditional 3-5-2 here from Lyon, and watching some of the pre-match commentary from Roberto Martinez, who has been the manager of Belgium before, Everton as well, Wigan in the past. He was kind of walking through how Lyon sets up their structure, and to my eyes looked to be a pretty traditional 3-5-2. 5 to 4 defenders at any time, outside backs very active in both the defense and the attack, and really trying to use that duo up top to be able to keep possession. Will be an interesting lineup here. I think Pep may be preparing for those extra sort of players in the midfield space in the 3-5-2 by playing Rodri, Fernandinho, Gundogan again. As I mentioned, those are kind of defensive players for City. You often see someone a little more attacking thrown in there. One of the Silva duo, Bernardo or David, sometimes Phil Foden. So has maybe gone for a more robust midfield here. Again, as we get into this match, they're going through the lineups right now on the CBS All Access stream. Man City should be heavily favored in this match. Lyon did come off a nice victory over Juventus in the prior week. Man City will be heavy favorites here, but they have struggled to get past the stage or the semifinals in prior Champions Leagues, and Lyon is a very good team. They'll have a solid defensive structure, so it will be an interesting match for sure. Don't expect as many goals as we saw yesterday, I would say, but if Man City has a good day, I think you could expect a decent amount from them. But will be interesting to see how this one goes. Again, I'll be sort of doing my own personality and thoughts about things now at halftime and then at the end of the match, and I'll go through some of the player ratings at the end of the match that pop up here on FootMob. Again, I hope you like FootMob's site. It's free, easy access, has all the players' faces on it, and gives them match ratings as the match goes on, and also does it for the substitutions. So it's quite convenient and a very nice site. So please use them if you ever need that sort of service. But But yeah, and then during the match, I will go into full broadcasting mode, just doing play-by-play, trying to comment on the match and be just in generally as unbiased as I possibly can. But yeah, I'm excited about the match. I do apologize for anyone that was hoping I would do the Bayern-Barcelona game yesterday, but I have no regrets about not casting that one because it was way more enjoyable to watch it. That was an absolutely absurd match. You rarely ever see a night like that in European football. Now, I'm going to have to focus here for a second because I do have a timer that I have set up here, but I'm still getting a little used to it. I need to make sure it syncs up with the clock, and we'll throw that up right as the match starts, but I just want to make sure it's synced up here as we get ready for kickoff. Okay, that should do it. Let me throw it up here, and then we will get into the broadcasting. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, then. Well, I will join you all then for opinions and thoughts at halftime, but please enjoy the match. Ball going to find the feet of Ederson here. Ederson will just play it slow as the game getting started here between Lyon and Manchester City. You can see Fernandinho out here to collect on the far side. Will drive up, nice entry pass into Gabriel Jesus, but his pass cannot find the feet of Kyle Walker, who's stationed very high up the field here. Gabriel Jesus will chase down the goalkeeper here and force a long ball. Akambi's header actually going to almost find an on-rushing, I believe this is Grimares, but it will just make it back to the feet of Ederson here. Actually, a nice turn of pace. Sorry, it was Kakare. And I don't think, I believe it's Cancelo there, or Laporte, just not quite ready for that turn of pace. But we're able to deal with it ultimately. And as this ball is cleared, it will find the feet of Kevin De Bruyne, who has been absolutely electric throughout the season, both in the European competitions as well as the Premier League. He will launch this one forward, looking for Gabriel Jesus, but just a little bit too much on it. It's well read by Anthony Lopez in the Lyon goal, and he will collect that one. But a nice early look there from De Bruyne. That is sort of the player you would look to from the side of Manchester City to create their goals today, particularly with the absence of either David or Bernardo Silva or even Phil Foden in the lineup. Now Denier looking up the field for Akambi, will not find him, and Gabriel Jesus trying to chase this one down. His touch betrays him there, and Marçal is able to knock it back to Lopez. He will launch this one forward. It's well won by Eric Garcia, now a target of his original club, Barcelona. In this upcoming transfer market, they have declared that they will not pay more than $15 million for him, which is typically not a sum of money Man City would be happy to part with a player for, but there are some negotiating leverage for Barcelona in this case, as it is believed the player wants to return. But so far, Garcia's been really good here. But Raheem Sterling already in behind. Going to look inside for Gabriel Jesus. It will be cleared away by the back line. I believe a combination of Marcelo and Fernando Marçal there. An excellent inroads here from Manchester City. Great run and an excellent pass from João Cancelo into Sterling. And it is a combination here of Fernando Marçal with the first clearance, followed up by Marcelo knocking that one out. Here's the ensuing corner from De Bruyne, headed away. Knocked back in the box by Sterling, but eventually cleared and may find the feet of Kakare here, but will be chased down by Sterling, who will win possession, and it will reset all the way back to Ederson here. So a great early chance here from the side of Manchester City, just 3 minutes into the match, and you can see how devastating they can be with their movement, with their possession. Just one very sharp pass there from the feet of João Cancelo springs Raheem Sterling in behind the defense. Now we'll be back with Garcia. We'll look back out to Fernandinho here. Fernandinho will lob one up the sideline towards Kyle Walker. He is in a foot race here with Cornet. And it will go out for a goal kick. Well defended by Cornet there. We can see Rudy Garcia on the bench here already taking some notes at the beginning of this match. Won't be thrilled with how easily they were played in behind by Cancelo and Raheem Sterling there, but shouldn't be too concerned. Is Fernandinho going to get himself a little mixed up with this long ball? And it looks like Akambi is onto it. We'll cut back here, looking across the box. We'll find Awar at the top of the box, now outside towards Memphis Depay. Back to Dubois. He'll cross it in, but Walker is free at the back post and trying to do an actually smart play. They're trying to chest it back to his goalkeeper, but gets a little bit too much on it, and it actually turns into a fairly dangerous shot. Definitely headed in towards the near post, and Ederson taken a little bit by surprise there. Almost sees it slip by him, but fortunately for the Manchester City duo, it will just fall into his hands, and they will be able to regain possession. Now being moved up the field by Garcia. He'll look out wide towards Cancelo. Nice first touch from him. Looks up the field. We'll find an on-rushing Gundogan. Gundogan will be seen off it by Kakare, who knocks it out of play. Now back into the feet of Cancelo, all the way back to Garcia. He'll look over to Fernandinho. Now Kyle Walker. You can see Fernandinho playing very, very deep here. So despite being shown in the midfield by Footmob here, looks like he is actually playing in the center back spot. So a little bit of a different kind of shape here. It looks like Man City may actually be matching. Sorry, this is just me, by the way. It looks like Man City may actually be matching the 3-5-2 here. You can see Cancelo way out wide here. You can see Laporte, Garcia, and Fernandinho kind of sitting back here in the 3 spot. This is their offensive shape, but City should expect to be in possession for most of this match. So you would expect this to be their shape for most of it. So I think they're actually trying to match the 3-5-2, so do keep that in mind, and I'll kind of keep that in mind as the broadcaster as well. Footmob not doing a great job of capturing kind of what Pep was going for here. Oh, and they actually changed it. Oh, actually, great job, Footmob. That's impressive. They were definitely in a 4 at the beginning, so I'm impressed by that. That's pretty cool. Okay, back to it. Wow, that's actually really good. They changed the shape. Okay. Throw earned by Man City here. Kyle Walker is up to take this one. He will throw into Gabriel Jesus, who's being absolutely hassled there by Marcelo, but no call coming from the center referee here. Will just be played back out to Marcelo. Lopez trying to find something. He actually plays Denier into a tough position here. Denier forced to clear it. Will just fall to the feet of Rodri. And back into Laporte here. Here's Cancelo. Back into Gundogan. Rodri. Fernandinho. Now Garcia. Some good pressure coming out by the strikers from Lyon. They're forcing Manchester City back. Akambi and Depay here very active, trying to press, cut down these passing angles. Laporte looking for an option. Will clip one into the left-hand channel. It's well defended by Marcelo. He will just knock it out for a throw-in. And expect to see a good amount of some of these chip passes into channels from Man City. When you are set up in matching 3-5-2s, if your wide backs can occupy theirs, there are spaces in behind the flanks of the 3 defenders in the center to play into. And with Man City being in so much possession in the early parts of this match, they may take some shots and let their 2 strikers run into channels. This ball will be knocked off of Sterling's foot by Kakare. We'll just go out for a throw. And Cancelo looking, surveying his options here. We'll just throw short to Rodri. Almost lets that one dribble out, and nope, just not quite. Just keeping that one in on the far sideline is Cancelo, and Fernandinho dawdling on the ball a little bit too long. It will be picked up by De Bruyne. Has 3 defenders in front of him. Great whipped cross in. It's headed away by Denier. Well defended there, and it's picked up by the midfield here of Lyon, going for a counterattack. Here's Cornet into the run of Akambi up the left-hand channel. City trying to retreat. There are a lot of blue shirts back. It's poked away by Eric Garcia, but not quite able to keep that one in play. It will go out for the first corner for Lyon of this match. And a nicely worked combination there from Lyon on that counterattack. I believe it's OR finding a streaking Cornet off to the left. He finds a nice run into a Cambi, and while it's decent defending from Garcia, the attack will result in a corner here to be taken by Memphis Depay. Here comes the corner. It's a bit short on the near post. It will be headed away by De Bruyne. Here's a shot in from, I believe that's Marçal, and that does get nice contact, gets a decent direction on it as well, but Ederson is equal to it, going down and smothering that one without too much trouble. But a decent first strike here, and the first chance of the match for Lyon. Man City will reset in their own half, moving this one across to the left now. Laporte surveying his options, just going to play short into Cancelo. Will come all the way across here. You can see all 11 players behind the ball here. Sorry, 10 outfield players with the goalkeeper. For Lyon, they're trying to choke this space out from Man City. Very happy to let them have possession, and clearly looking to play on the counter here into some of the spaces that would be abandoned, particularly by the midfield trio. Man City continue to play patiently here in the back, looking for the right options. As pass into the feet of Gabriel Jesus. He is run down by the defense of Lyon. A referee does wave play on for possession. Was a foul deep in midfield, so maybe not as advantageous as Gabriel Jesus would like to claim there. Will just be shifted out to Laporte, now into Cancelo. Back onto this left-hand side. Nice slit pass into Raheem Sterling. He's going to try and take his man on, but the touch gets away from him. It will be picked up by Lyon, but a great tackle from Fernandinho. Stops the counterattack. He moves it out wide to Walker, who finds Gabriel Jesus. Jesus going at his man on the far side. Now De Bruyne. Not offsides, but his cross will be blocked, and Cornet will clear the resulting free ball. It will... Looks like Cancelo going up for the header. Akambi puts his body in a nice position and forces him off. Wins the ball for Lyon. They will retain possession here, and Denier will move it over to Marcelo. Now out to Marçal. Marçal pressured. Will look up the field to Cornet. Cornet with some time looks back inside to Aouar. Aouar going to switch all the way over, I believe, to Dubois, but not quite going to find him. Sorry, that was Akambi he was looking for. Man City will come back away with possession, and a bit of a cynical foul here coming through onto Cancelo, really needlessly, and it's actually going to be a yellow card for Dubois here in just the 11th minute of the game, leaving a foot in after Cancelo had already passed that ball away. Not sure if he did actually clip him. We'll have to see on the replay, but the referee definitely certainly thought so. Yeah, I think it's a bit harsh of a decision here onto Dubois. He definitely does leave a little bit in that challenge as Cancelo is passing that one away. It doesn't step on his foot. It's really not too cynical or aggressive. Just a bit of a testing challenge there. I think he should probably get away with that one with just a foul. I think that's a bit harsh for the referee to card him so early in the match for something that really not a whole lot of intent behind. But play will resume. So pass here is deflected away from Man City back into the path of an onrush in Lyon. Caqueret out to Akambi. You can see Depay here making a run on the far side, but great recovery run from Cancelo will poke the ball off of Akambi's feet for a Lyon throw-in. Now Dubois going to look back and find Denier. Out to Marçal. That one will go out for a Lyon throw. Depay looking at his leg there from the challenge from De Bruyne, but nothing much in that one. 13 minutes into the match, and not much more than that one very good chance for City, with Raheem Sterling jumping in behind, and a decent half chance on the long shot from Marçal following a semi-cleared corner kick. From Lyon. Those really are only two chances of the match. Man City definitely dominating possession as one would expect here in this match. Lyon happy to allow them to play, try to choke the spaces out and look for space on the counter-attack. Akambi has already shown some dangerous moves running into a couple of channels and winning some good position and a corner kick for his team. So you can definitely see how the strategies will interact with each other throughout most of this match unless tactical adjustments are made by the managers as time goes on. Cornet here going to look for a long throw. urging his team into the box. He's going to look for it. Camby. It's not quite going to reach him. DeBrowne will clear all the way back. Marçal with a great touch here, actually, as he retreats towards his own goal mouth. We'll just knock it back to Lopez. Lopez will look for a long ball up the field. They will find Depay offsides, but Akambi is not. His header will be won by DeBrowne, but the touch gets away from him. Does find the feet of Walker, who tries to clear this one, but mishits it a bit, getting some spin on it. And OR going to win that one and be clipped by DeBrowne in midfield. And the Lyon players asking for a yellow card for a similar challenge. And once again, as I mentioned earlier, don't think this is a yellow. You can see he's just a little bit late there. Pulls out of the challenge. There's nothing cynical in it whatsoever. And so it's a little unfortunate, I think, for Dubois. There's no need to yellow card DeBrowne there whatsoever. And really don't think there was any need to yellow card Dubois as well. I'm sure that's what the Lyon players are complaining about, but will just be a bit unfortunate in this case. Now Marçal on the ball will look up the field. 2 runs here from Akambi. Actually going to pick this one up. Is harried here by Garcia. Do a nice job holding it up. We'll find Depay. Tries to move this one forward. We'll find Akambi once again, who resets. Back into the feet of Marçal. Now Marcelo. Surveying the field for some options, not finding any, will just retreat to Lopez and pick it up once again, but 20 yards deeper than he had it previously. Still looking for a decent pass. Won't be finding one here, as Man City also in good defensive shape. Much higher up the field here, you can see Gabriel Jesus, the whole front line, and even this midfield 3 very happy to extend. Ball comes in here now, will go over the head of Akambi. Header is won by Garcia. Return pass up the field from Fernandinho. Finds only the feet of Marçal. He will pick it off and move up the field. Looking for Cornet, but he's not available. Gundogan runs in here on Depay, but the tackle does go out of bounds for a Lyon throw. Now OR. Nice heel flick there from Depay, but he and Cornet not quite on the same timing there. And Kyle Walker will win a throw for Man City. Gonna have to go chase this one behind the stanchions here on the back sideline. Is again, no ball boys in this semi-bubble that has been set up in Portugal to host the remainder of the Champions League matches for this season. Make sure there are minimal amount of people in contact with each other for these regular periods of time to try to contain the spread of the still ever dangerous coronavirus that has gone across the globe here, as Denier just going to run through the back of Raheem Sterling here, will commit the foul. Yep, just manhandling the whole time. Sterling with his body in a good position always does have the priority to that ball, and just draws the simple foul. Now Cancelo with a clipped pass here, but the timing is off with Jesus, and it will just fall harmlessly into the arms of Anthony Lopez. Lopez clearing this one long. He's looking for Depay. The header is won by Rodri, but brought down by Denier. Ooh, holding on to that ball a little bit too long is Guimaraes. Does get fortunate that Denier bails him out with a good challenge there. This ball up the right sideline. It can be giving chase, but Laporte will get there first and shield this one out for a Man City throw. Throw comes in, and Cancelo will just clear this one up the line. Gabriel Jesus fighting for it against Marcelo. Will lose that one-on-one duel, but will keep the ball in play. The scramble here, it looks like OR will come away with it. Now Cornet back into OR. Sorry, this is Guimaraes. Now Depay out wide to Cornet. He's matched by Fernandinho. He will cross early, but his cross is easily intercepted by Garcia. Now Walker looking up the field will find Rodri. See a tangle of legs up the field here. This clearance from Fernandinho will find no one. Denier will just reset wide to Dubois, who has some space. Gets his head up, but doesn't see any options. We'll look inside to Guimaraes. Now we'll reset to Marcelo. Marcelo to Marçal. Marçal trying to play through. We'll find Depay's feet. Now out to Cornet. Some good possession here from Lyon. They are holding it in well. City's still happy to press a little bit higher. You can see how high this defensive line is. Not going to catch. I believe Dubois offsides here. He'll try a combination with Akambi. Akambi will simply reset. Now Guimaraes has it. We'll look wide. Dubois looking for a cross. Contested well here by Cancelo. We'll look for a nice little flick pass into the box. Gonna be cut back here towards the top, but it's read by De Bruyne first. There's a sliding challenge in from Marçal, but he will simply knock that one into the waiting arms of Ederson. He's gonna look for a long punt here to De Bruyne, streaking across the field. Tries a first-time cross from the punt, but doesn't quite get the contact he's looking for, and it rolls into Lopez's path. He did have a run coming from Raheem Sterling, and had he been able to take a touch, a proper touch there, get a good cross, and that could have been a dangerous opportunity, but would have been a really impressive bit of skill to do so right from the keeper's punt. Now Kakare into Aouar. Over to Depay. Well, nice flick pass here into the path of Akambi. He'll look wide for Cornet. Cornet looking up the fields. Not seeing any options. We'll find Guimaraes. Looking inside, but his pass is read well by Jesus. We'll find a streaking De Bruyne. Chased by Kakare here, but a great pass in behind Denier. Here comes Sterling. Denier just going to get there first and poke it away, but Sterling will collect the possession. And we'll look back for Cancelo here. Almost a perfectly weighted pass from De Bruyne in behind Denier with just enough pace to get there before Sterling. And at least force him a little bit wide and allow the remainder of his team to recover. Garcia now. Gundogan out to Laporte. Will advance to Cancelo. Will continue his run. We'll just come back to Gundogan. Lyon now happy to move out. You can see now playing a little bit of a higher defensive line here. They're 5. City with good possession, but struggling to find incisive passes in behind the lines here. Anything that would potentially be threatening. And there are 2 members kind of always watching De Bruyne, and he's cut a bit of an isolated figure here out on the right. Always with someone in his face when he receives it. And you know, receiving it maybe not quite in the half spaces he would like or is used to, set up against maybe a traditional 4-3-3 or in their traditional 4-3-3 here. De Bruyne now receiving this ball pretty deep, looking for some options. We'll simply lay it back to Fernandinho. Now Laporte. Cancelo looking for the run of Gundogan. Will cut inside instead. Going to get past it. Man, a nice little slipped pass into Sterling. Sterling going to look up. Takes a couple touches in the box. Looking back to the top. It's well read by Aouar here, who picks off the pass. Beats a man on the dribble. And then will collect a foul from Gundogan. And I think Gundogan also a little fortunate here to escape a yellow card. See if this is Aouar here. So this is a nice pass in from Cancelo. It looks back towards Cancelo, actually, is Sterling. And yeah, believe that is Aouar. Yes, it is, with a nice read towards the top of the box, and will just be bungled over by the opposite number 8 there in Gundogan. And I do think Gundogan a little fortunate to escape a caution there, as Aouar had some room to run if he were to get past the German there. So then we'll just reset. You do find Marçal with some space behind De Bruyne here. We'll look up, hit a long ball into Akambi. Man City looking for offsides, but not getting it right now. Great tackle from Garcia, but it pops back to Cornet, and he will finish it past Ederson at the near post. It looks like it's 1-0 Lyon unless this one is checked, and there seemed to be a lot of hesitation around the offsides there. I do think Man City stopped playing far too early, but the referee will be checking this one. We'll see on replay here, already in the ear with VAR. I'm sure they'll be looking at Akambi's run here on the initial ball in from Marçal. Let's take a look here. Ooh, and I think he's on sides. I think Kyle Walker's actually keeping him on here. Takes a nice touch, does a Camby. It's a great tackle from Garcia, but you can see how far Ederson is out to challenge a Camby. And Cornet just sees an open net and slots it into the near post. I think this one's going to stand based on where I saw Kyle Walker standing. And it looks like it is. Rudy Garcia is celebrating on the sideline. Still not seeing an official call. This is taking quite some time. No official call just yet. It is a goal. It does stand, and Cornet will give Lyon the lead. And as we take a look at this replay, keep an eye on Kyle Walker on the bottom right of your screen. It can be offsides if you look at Eric Garcia, but Kyle Walker's way deeper than the rest of his line, and just too many assumptions made by the Manchester City defense here. Eric Garcia really the only one who decides to try to play on. Does make a great challenge on a Camby, but no one there following Cornet. And Ederson so far out to challenge a Camby. Doesn't reset his feet at all for Cornet's shot. And Cornet just slides it in to that open near post. And it's 1-0 Lyon here. Man City now down a goal in another Champions League quarterfinal where they have struggled to advance in the past. Looking at a much bigger challenge to climb here as they will reset play in the 25th minute of the first half. Now here's a long pass across the field from Fernandinho, but this one looks like it will evade everyone and roll out for a goal kick. Pep on his feet now trying to instruct his players. And yeah, we can see again the run from Camby. It's a bad angle for sure. You cannot see Kyle Walker on the far side. And yeah, Walker really to blame for essentially all of this. I have to say, you can see he initially leaves Camby on sides, assumes that Camby is offsides, and does not track Cornet at all. You can see him in that last replay just jogging back while Cornet is sprinting to support Camby. And despite Eric Garcia's best efforts to get back, Kyle Walker caught completely unawares on two different occasions there and is aptly punished for it. Ball will come out here to De Bruyne, who again is picking it up in this very deep half space off to the right. Not where he usually likes to receive the ball. He hasn't really gotten it in positions of any sort of threat yet. We'll go back out here to Cancelo, who's going to look behind. Another nice ball into Sterling. Sterling with two members of Lyon defense for company, and it will be rolled off of him by Guimaraes. Dubois there to help as well. Guimaraes now trying to hold off the Englishman. Will try a back heel to Denier, but it's not quite going to come off as Denier gets their second to Gabriel Jesus, who should draw a free kick here in a pretty dangerous position. Yes, very nicely done from the Brazilian there, poking in, reading the intentions of Guimaraes on that right-hand touchline and beating Denier to that 50-50 challenge. So we will get a pretty dangerous set piece here from Man City, looking to equalize this match. And meanwhile, Cornet is on the ground in the box. Fernandinho kind of angrily standing over him. The referee going to call over a couple of members to chat. First, Laporte. Let's take a look here. Yeah, just a little bit of push and shove here in the box. Really nothing going on. So here comes the free kick from De Bruyne. Going to whip it in. Nobody gets in front of Lopez. He's able to just punch that one away. De Bruyne will let it go out for a throw-in. Going to look here quickly towards the baseline, but it's well read by Dubois there. Going to knock that one out for another throw-in. Cancelo here for the throw. Will find Gundogan. His return pass not good enough. It will be picked off and will find the feet of Depay. Going to look up the field for Camby's run, but that will be picked off by Laporte. Leaves his pass a bit short, but Rodri is equal to it. But will be stripped of possession here by Depay. Depay looking inside to Aouar. Aouar going to cut across Fernandinho and going to draw a foul here in a great shooting position. May even get a yellow card here and will. And that is the first yellow card for Man City going on to the captain here, Fernandinho. in the 28th minute. So Lyon following their goal, now in the lead, looking pretty powerful, looking very, very confident, biting into challenges, winning possession, happy to run up the field, look for Akambi and Depay. And Aouar has been dribbling past multiple members of Man City's midfield here throughout this match, looking very, very confident so far. Fernandinho calling out some instructions here as we look up Aouar. Going to be standing over this free kick. Looks like it will be Depay clipping it in towards the back post, but very easily dealt with by first Fernandinho and then Kyle Walker, who will be fouled in the follow-up of his clearance. Looks like by Marcelo. Yep, easy. Just late to that one. Marcelo just running through Kyle Walker. Bernardo Silva not very happy with that one. This play will restart here. Going to go wide. Back inside to Gundogan. Gundogan across now to Fernandinho. Finding Kyle Walker. Now long ball into an on-rushing Kevin De Bruyne. A good backwards header there by Cornet. Will manage to break up that attack. He will look long here towards Akambi, but will not connect with him. Laporte will simply push it wide to Cancelo, who has a little bit of room here. He's met by Kakure. Will just dance by him and will also dance by Dubois. Good cross in. Lopez has to come out to try to get a piece of it, and the follow-up is blocked by Lopez once again. That was an excellent chance for Man City, as Lopez's first clearance left a lot to be desired, but he made up for it with a pretty spectacular second save there. As now Sterling dribbling past one, past two, inside the box, looking for something, trying to find a teammate. A good slide in here from Guimaraes will break up the pass and will be found by Akambi, whose touch lets him down, and it will come away to Fernandinho. Now Kyle Walker going to go one-on-one with Cornet. Cornet equal to his pace will be forced back to Fernandinho. Fernandinho to Walker again. Over to Jesus, but that pass is read by Marcelo. It will find the feet of Aouar, who tries to dance by to and will. Good back heel flick here from Depay, who goes on a run. Great pass into the channel, but just too tough, too tight. Depay is unable to take that first touch past Garcia, and Garcia will poke it off of him. It will go back to Ederson, and now has come out to Cancelo. Cancelo leaves this pass a little bit short, and Laporte going to concede possession back to Lyon here. Yeah, so Man City has been struggling a bit. They do still have possession, but you can see they're not getting a lot of possession in places they want to. That last chance with Lopez, the first time in a while they've really had anything biting. And once again, it comes from the run of Raheem Sterling, who's been fairly active in this game, making 2 or 3 nice runs in behind Denier, and that's going to be a foul on Fernandinho. And he's got to watch himself now, already on a yellow card, biting into another challenge on the elusive Aouar here, who has drawn 3 or 4 fouls already on City players. And you can see here's the follow-up of that chance. You see Lopez here only with one hand just leaving that one in the air, and Gundogan trying to clean it up. He did make a nice save on the follow-up. But yeah, Fernandinho now has a yellow card and another foul to his name, so we'll have to be a little careful here. Is this one going to come in far post from Depay? Will be won by Marcelo, but Gundogan will clean up the second ball. It will go out for a Lyon throw on the far right touchline. Guardiola on the bench muttering to himself, probably trying to figure out, piece together something, anything to tweak the formation, tweak the structure, tweak the energy to get in behind these lines. There just has not been a ton of success from City, and trailing by 1 goal, Lyon will be in absolutely will have absolutely no desire to come out of their shape, come out of their shell. So it will be all on City to try to break down this defense, to try to find ways in behind, to try to find ways to create chances, because thus far they really have not created that much. Laporte once again here. Now Garcia. Fernandinho. You can just see a bit of stagnant movement from City in general, and in particular from the strikers. I think here's Sterling making a run now, doing a nice job fending off Denier. Will be a throw for Man City. I think in particular, one thing I'm noticing here is if you watch Gabriel Jesus, I think he may be a bit uncomfortable playing with the two strikers set right now. You can see Sterling has made some good runs, is trying to get into channels, is trying to get in behind Denier. Jesus has been much more comfortable trying to get balls into feet, trying to run straight back to receive possession, which just seems to be exactly what the Lyon defenders want. They can just run downhill on him, try to force him off of it, try to have him make a mistake, and he's not being clever enough at the moment to move off of Sterling, to make runs into channels, to really offer some sort of space option or a kind of a different angle for these Lyon defenders. Sterling has done a decent job of it, but maybe not as frequently as you would like so far, and those two just struggling to really find a lot of touches, as we see Fernandinho now in midfield will almost elude Cancelo with his pass, but Cancelo does pick it up, trying to evade Kakare here. Will be forced back to Garcia. Garcia now into Gundogan, back to Garcia. Good read here from Aouar. Fernandinho is composed. Will now look across the field for Cancelo. Takes a decent first touch on his chest, but his second touch will bounce off of Dubois. And now there's some space for Kakare here. Good sliding challenge from Cancelo. Will knock it out for a throw. Kakare has stayed down and is clutching his ankle, but doesn't see anything too bad with that challenge. Yep, very nice. Gets the ball first. Does kind of come through the left foot of Kakare, but pretty solid challenge. We're seeing a kind of bit of a clash of heads between Marcelo and Gabriel Jesus in the box a couple minutes ago, as this ball is going to come out to Cornet. Now back to Marcel. Into the half space with Aouar. Aouar will lose out on the header with Fernandinho. It looks like they may have clashed heads here. Aouar is down. Yep, referee signaling a clash of heads. The meds will come out. We saw one of these 2 days ago when Halsterman, and I'm blanking on the other member of Atletico Madrid. Savic, sorry. Yes, Stefan Savic and Halsterman had a pretty nasty clash of heads where both were bleeding. Had some decent cuts. This one seems to be a bit more mild, but both players going to be treated here. UEFA, most leagues around the world have become a lot more aware and a lot quicker to respond to head injuries. Play does stop whenever there is a potential for a head injury now, as there have been too many occasions in world football where players have been allowed to play through concussions, past concussions, and it has had very negative effects on both their own health and the health of their teammates around them as they watch them try to play through that. Couple notably in the World Cup, two World Cups ago in Brazil in the final, but multiple instances across multiple leagues, and so good to see that they're quick to react to this clash of heads. It looks like both players are aware, pretty sharp, and they will both be allowed to continue. Here's Sterling with another good run in behind Denier. Denier does face him up now, but Sterling taking him on well. Gonna kind of dink onto his left foot. Denier still in front of him, but will miss his challenge and will clip Sterling for a foul. Sterling really starting to give Denier some problems with his movement as well as his quick feet here. Yep, just late to that one. Just a little bit too eager, thinking he could clip in as he'd stop Sterling once or twice. Has his hands in the air for absolutely no reason. He clearly tripped Sterling there. Denier, once a Man City player, now has been a member of Lyon for a couple seasons. Here comes De Bruyne's free kick once again, putting it right on top of Anthony Lopez. But again, no Man City players really running across the goalkeeper, so pretty easily spotted by Lopez and just punched away once again. You can see, looks like Laporte was trying to, but was just a little bit late. You really do want to run across his face there. Even if you don't get on the ball or get a flick on it, you want to at least impair the vision of the goalkeeper there, put someone in front of him, make it hard for him to see and punch that one. Otherwise, it's just very, very easy for Lopez to see that one coming the whole way. We're approaching the 40-minute mark here. Lyon still leading 1-0 on that goal from Cornet. We'll be looking for their second as they throw in here. Man City, again, definitely dominant in terms of possession, but Lyon have looked pretty good here today. Solid in their defensive structure, not giving up too many chances. Marsal have looked comfortable. Denier, really, the only defender who has been challenged by Sterling on multiple occasions. Cornet going down here in a challenge with Walker. Referee has no sympathy for him, and play will be allowed to continue. Cornet still sitting down on the field. Walker going to lose out on this one, but his kind of desperation pass will connect with De Bruyne, who's now running into the channel. Does have Kekere for company. Good first touch, but does get a little bit too far away from him. Guimaraes is there, and he will draw a foul on De Bruyne. De Bruyne a little frustrated by that one. Take a look here. Guimaraes kind of pushing it behind. Yeah, it's not the most obvious foul of all time, but does kind of bump Guimaraes there. Probably throws him off his path a little bit too aggressively. You can see this clash between Kyle Walker and Cornet. Kyle Walker definitely does eye up Cornet there as he backs into him, but with no arms or elbows thrown, there's really nothing aggressive there, just trying to use his body positioning, and Cornet does crumple a little easily. I think that one is just fine. Nice tackle here between Marsal and Walker will result in a City throw-in. Yes, as we were talking about, Lyon looking comfortable. Their game plan working here. Akambi has been a thorn in the side of the Man City defenses, running into channels. Depay has dropped in well to connect play. And on the counter, Lyon have looked dangerous. Their goal certainly coming from a bit of an unusual circumstance in which most of the Man City defenders sort of quit on the play, expecting an offsides, despite Kyle Walker just not being in line with them. Eric Garcia, the only one to try to track back, and after making a successful challenge on Akambi, Cornet was left wide open because Walker had not retreated to just tap into an open net. So 1-0 to Lyon. They have looked good. They've looked comfortable so far in this match, and City still trying to find the true bite in their offense that they would normally look for. As this one out to Cancelo. Laporte actually going to cross this one in, but it's a little bit loopy. Will be headed away by Marsal. Nice header down here from Rodri. Now into Gabriel Jesus. Nice pass into Sterling. Great cutback here. We'll look up. Good pass back, but the effort from Rodri is tame, and Lopez will be able to push it away and then collect the second ball. Another great slipped pass here from Jesus. Great cutback from Sterling. He gets his head up. He finds Rodri at the top of the 18, but Rodri really doesn't swing through it as that ball is bouncing back to him. He doesn't get enough power behind it, and in the end of the day, it is easy for Lopez to pick that one up. So really nice chance and a well-worked play by Man City, but the shot in the effort not of the same quality as the rest of the build-up. Now Walker into Rodri, back into Gundogan. Looking up the field, will just push it wide to Laporte. Laporte out now to Cancelo, trying to play into Brown. Here's a good cross into feet, well poked away by Marcelo. Here's a little bit better from Man City, starting to take advantage of a couple of these channels behind the three central defenders of Lyon. You can see Marcelo making a good last-ditch challenge there. Here's De Bruyne again. He baits out a tackle, keeps the ball inside, but his cross is blocked. Here's a nice clearance. Will not find Depay, and Man City will reset. De Bruyne's initial movement there actually forcing Denier to slide and getting him on his feet, but just didn't quite get himself back under control. His cross a little too weak. Not sure who it was blocked by, but were a lot of bodies in front of him. Man City resetting it back into their midfield. Almost picked off there by Akambi is Walker's pass. Laporte out to Cancelo. Cancelo with 2 defenders for company. Now Gundogan driving inside. Try to free up De Bruyne here. Good slipped pass into the box. Does have Denier on his back. His pass will be deflected by Cornet, who's on the right side of the field for some reason here. And it will go out for a corner kick. 44 minutes here. I would expect 1 to 2 minutes of stoppage time. Haven't had anything too bad besides that clash of heads. Is going to deliver this one is De Bruyne. Will be flicked on at the front post, but a little too much contact from Eric Garcia, and that one will go harmlessly over the net. Sorry, that looks like it is Rodri. Excuse me. Yep, not a bad play. He does get to the spot first, but doesn't quite glance the header like he would like. And that one goes harmlessly away. We got 44 minutes, 40 seconds. We will see what the stoppage time is here in just a moment. I do expect it to be about 2 minutes. Again, haven't had a ton of stoppages, really just the clash of heads, and neither player down for too long. Neither OR or, I believe it was Gundogan. No, Fernandinho, sorry, excuse me. And it will be 2 minutes of stoppage time here. We'll just let my clock keep running. Not going to try and adjust that one for like the +2. So I will go to 47 here. Fernandinho now back into Rodri. Now here's De Bruyne picking it up in a half space that he would like. Great outside of the foot pass. It gets into Sterling. Sterling shoots. It's saved by Lopez. What a pass from Kevin De Bruyne. And Sterling just didn't quite get out of his feet fast enough. I do think there's a tiny deflection here from Marcel. There is Sterling doing a pretty good job getting it under control, but at the end of the day, I think it's just a pretty good save from Lopez. Wow, that was an incredible outside of the foot pass from De Bruyne. You see what he's capable of doing here when he picks the ball up. Here's he is again from the corner. He's going to escape all of his teammates. We'll find Sterling at the back post. He's challenged by Kakare. Now Cancelo back into the box. Will not find one of his teammates, cleared by Cornet. Reset here with a minute to play in stoppage time. This long pass from Cancelo is deflected. We'll find Rodri's feet. Now back to Garcia. Defense is reset. Good pressure by Kakare, but it now has found Cancelo with some space. Driving forward. Long outside of the foot pass, but this one is loopier than De Bruyne's. And it will be headed away by Marcelo. Good pass up the field by Cornet, but it's picked off by Rodri. He's going to look outside for Walker here. Walker cutting it back, trying to look for De Bruyne. Doesn't see any help. We'll just reset it to Garcia. Minute 44 played in stoppage time here. Now Sterling alone out on the left will get Guimaraes to miss, but will have it taken off him by Dubois. Final challenge of the half will be won by Man City, but that will do it. At 45 minutes here, Lyon leading 1-0 over Manchester City. Despite all of the possession for City, they have not generated a whole ton of chances here. They did look a lot better towards the end of that second half, and we'll see if Pep Guardiola can use that momentum to come up with a strategy to try to get back even in this match. But we will join you after the halftime break for the second half of broadcasting. All right, now I'm going to stop my clock. Bingo. Wow, okay. So, City's in trouble again in the Champions League. Lyon have looked good outside of that last 5 minutes. That last 5 minutes is what you would kind of expect to see. City started to look very good in that last 5 minutes. Sterling running into that channel. De Bruyne started, he actually moved from right to left to try to find space and ran into that channel. I think the big thing, and we'll see if Pep does something about this. The interesting thing about City playing 3-5-2 today is they don't play 3-5-2 that often. Sometimes they end up being in kind of a 3-5-2 because they have so much possession. They don't need to keep 4 defenders back most of the time. One of them, typically, whether it's Walker or Zinchenko, one of them is usually 30 yards up the field, part of the attack. Um, but it's not going great for DeBrowna right now because of the setup. Because there's so many defenders behind the ball in that 3-5-2 formation, and because the wingbacks are already way up the field, what's happening is you have Cornet and Dubois matching them. And DeBrowna is best, and his like best space is what you saw when he almost set Sterling up for that goal with that outside of the foot pass. You saw him like in the beginning of the half kind of frustrated when he dropped back pretty deep towards the three defenders, right? And like Fernandinho would play it out to him on the right side, but like the whole team is still in front of him. The whole Lyon team is still in front of him. He's in this. It's kind of, we call it a half space because it's, you know, it's half between the wing and the defenders in the center, or it's half between like the striking line and the midfield line, right? You're in this half space, or you could even consider it the defensive line for Lyon and their midfield line, right? You're in this half space. And he excels at doing that. You know, Messi, if you've ever watched Messi, he excels at finding half space. And they're technical enough to turn, take advantage of it. And you can see that when De Bruyne drops into that deep half space, there's nothing for him to do. It's the same thing that Niguez, like Sal Niguez, was doing in the Atletico Madrid match 2 days ago. Right? They're dropping into the deep space because they're better technically, they're better passers than Fernandinho, Garcia, maybe not Laporte. Laporte's actually a pretty good passer. But, you know, De Bruyne can hit a long pass. He can hit, you know, a 20-yard pass on the ground in behind the defense. But they're so packed in, Lyon is. And also, because those wide backs are so high, because they're both of them are in a 3-5-2, and because, like, Cornet and Dubois are so high, when De Bruyne picks it up, there's, like, 3 players, like, immediately in front of him. It's not like they're all, like, dropped off and he can, like, try to hit this killer pass or, like, a long pass. It's like, he doesn't even have the space to play it because he thinks that if he plays it, one of those players will deflect it, right? And that's because, again, like, if he picks it up on the right, Cornet's like, normally in a 4-4-2, Cornet would be further back because you could, like, put your wide midfielder would be, like, on Cornet. And, yeah, maybe they have a wide midfielder, but maybe they're in, like, a midfield 3, right? And now a midfielder has to extend out of the midfield to maybe try to cut De Bruyne's space. Well, now De Bruyne can play, like, a 1-2 around him. Or him leaving midfield opens an angle that he can play a pass at, right? And he's not finding that, so you can see he was frustrated. But when he picked it up in that half space on the left at the end of the half, when he moved over there, that aggressive half space between the defensive line and the midfield line, now all of a sudden he's dangerous. Because now he only has to play like a 20-yard killer pass or like a 15-yard killer pass, right? Now he's got everything. And you saw what happened. Like, he just flicks this ball at the outside of his foot. It's freaking brilliant. And it's so unlucky that it hasn't resulted in a goal. It beats Marçal. Like, he gives full effort, doesn't get the ball. Like, and I think Sterling does a pretty good job, honestly. It's a tough pass to collect, and I think Lopez has just done a good job there of, like, closing the angle and saving it. But that's what you're looking for De Bruyne. You want him in that aggressive half space, not in defensive. And right now on the CBS site, they're showing Carragher's railing against the way Man City defend this goal for Lyon, which is obviously pretty disgusting. Like, it was really bad. I actually need to change my score. Whoops, I keep forgetting this. I went the entire Atletico Madrid game without changing the score. I realized last time, so I'm glad I caught this. So look, let's just be 100% frank here about the way that this goal happens. A lot of times in soccer, unfortunately, particularly in professional soccer, where I think energy management often happens and habits are formed, right? Man City defenders expect this to be offsides because normally, the way they play with high lines and normally with how good they are at executing it, they are. It would be offsides. But Walker fucks up. Walker's 4 yards deeper than the rest of his defenders. Nobody sees that, and Walker's not checking his line. Walker's head is in his ass. It is. His head's in his ass. And the only one who tries is Garcia. Garcia runs his ass off to get back to defend Akambi, does a great job of it, blocks the shot. And who does it fall to? It falls to Cornet, because Cornet ran to support the attack. And Walker, whose head was in his ass, didn't run because he expected Akambi to be offsides, despite the fact that he was the one that left him onsides. So, frankly, it's down to just a little bit of laziness and habit that gets formed out of playing like a high line like this. And mostly, it's down to Walker's head being in his ass. that's pretty much what it is. Also, I give a little bit of blame to Ederson because I know he was coming out to challenge Akambi, who was on the top of the box, but like he could see Garcia running him down, and he also just like as soon as the challenge happened, he just like switched off too. Not like he like shifted his feet or like got active and was like, oh, Cornet might shoot, or like maybe I need to retreat. Like he just kind of was like, oh, they scored. So yeah, pretty bad there. Not gonna lie, pretty shitty defending, I would say, from like. It's kind of again, it's a little bit the habit of the line, but in this case, I think it's mostly Walker. It's like 85% Walker, like 10% Ederson, like 5% like habit of the high line. So, well, we'll see what Man City can do. They look good for the last 5 minutes of the half. I think Sterling is giving Denier a lot of problems. I think they should keep working that one. I think Jesus has been pretty poor. He needs to like do more. He needs to run into channels like Sterling's doing. He needs to like fake check in, run into channels. He needs to fake channel check in, right? But like you've seen him like check in 3 or 4 times for the ball and just have a defender on his butt, and like all he can do is just play it back or get fouled. It's like it's not doing anything. So he needs to do more. But most of their team needs to do more. I'd say like Sterling is the only one. And I'll give Cancelo some credit as well for being the one to slip most of those passes in. But Sterling's really the only one who's like availing himself well right now, I would say, in that offense. De Bruyne is trying. He just isn't finding the spaces. And you see when he finds the spaces what can happen. But he just hasn't found spaces yet that much. So, all right, I'm going to go take a quick break, grab some more water. I will be back just a couple minutes, and we'll just chill until the second half starts. All right, we're back. So anyone that is in the chat or is watching, what did you think of yesterday's match? Talk to me.
Because that was incredible. How'd you feel about what Bayern did to Barcelona? I think that's the most one-sided result I've seen in my I think it's one of the, it may be the most one-sided result I have ever seen. That was more one-sided than what Germany did to Brazil. Like, Germany was just hyper efficient at the beginning of that match, and Brazil just gave up, just like Barca did at a certain point. But it was just so clear after 15 minutes that every time Bayern attacked, you thought they were going to score, and you never thought Barca was scoring. The only way you thought Barca was scoring is if they made a mistake, which they did, and Suarez torched Boateng. But it was just crazy. I was just laughing because it was like watching an indoor game between a varsity high school team and the Frosthoff team, because every passing angle was open, every move was rewarded, it just looked like a knife through butter, every move. And every single time Bayern had the ball, I was oh, they're gonna score. And then they would get a shot blocked, or it'd be a save or something, and I'd just be laughing because I was I can't believe it's this easy. I can't believe it just is so lopsided. It was crazy. Okay, match getting started here, so I got to get this timer ready, so give me 1 second here. Lyon's still coming out, so we do have a little bit of time. Also, anyone in the chat has score predictions at the end of the match, throw them in here. We'd love to see them. Okay, ref's getting ready. I am gonna try to time this one. Blowing his whistle. We're good. Okay, well, let's go. Okay, I'm gonna go back to broadcasting. I will join you guys again for opinions and a little bit of wrap up at the end of the match. We'll go through play ratings, but we'll hop into it now. Cornet, as Lyon starts the match back up, leading 1-0 once again as they start off this match. And this ball actually going to be put out of play purposely by Marçal here. Not sure exactly what's going on. Maybe the ball's flat or has a hole. It looks like they are going to be taking that one away. So we'll just be thrown back to Lyon here. They will move it back to Lopez. Lopez just going to be forced to clear it. Walker doing a nice job with his body positioning, going to win that header, but second ball will be brought down by Caqueret. He's pressured by De Bruyne, but is able to find Denier. And now Dubois up the field. Pretty good ball down the channel. Ikambi is running for it. Laporte will lose out on this one. It will be a corner, so Ikambi still giving this Man City defense problems here as he is willing to run for every ball played up the field by his teammates. Corner getting set up here. Looks like it will be Depay to take it. Here comes the kick. Again, it's a little too short from Depay. They're not beating the first man. That one not even really close to beating the first man. And it will be cleared by De Bruyne there. Ball finally comes out of the Man City bench here for Dubois. His throw actually gets away from him. And yeah, going to be a bad throw. I think he just got caught in two minds. That's something we don't see too often. They say a bad throw in. So we'll go over to Man City here. We'll just be tossed back to Aymeric Laporte. He'll move this one over to Fernandinho. Moves it up the field into the feet of Sterling. Back to Rodri. Now Cancelo with a little bit of room here. Gundogan kind of loses control, but Rodri will clean it up. He'll just look back to Laporte. Cancelo looking inside. Doesn't see anything he likes. Will simply reset to Garcia. Now Rodri out to Fernandinho. Up the line to Walker. Walker alone with Cornet. Now has Aouar pressuring him as well. Rodri will get the pass. Come out to Laporte here. Laporte out to Cancelo. Man City just moving it back and forth here, trying to look for an opportunity. Cancelo, nice footwork there. Will upend Dubois. Will actually turn him inside out, but Denier is there to clean it up and will actually win a throw for Lyon. So good work by Cancelo, but in the end cleaned up by Denier. Take a look here at the challenge. Couldn't really see the deflection there, but I'm going to trust the assistant referee here. So that one will just be headed back out for another Lyon throw. It can be doing a nice job trying to hold up play here. We'll lose out to Laporte, but Caqueret on the line will also lose out to Laporte. Now, De Bruyne going inside will be fouled by Caqueret. And it will be restarted by Rodri. Walker's not wide enough yet, so we'll just receive this pass. And we'll look inside to Sterling, who actually has a little bit of room for once. We'll try to flick it on to Walker, but it's deflected by Marçal. Throw-in will just be knocked back to Garcia, who will look for Gundogan. Now Laporte. So no tactical tweaks here, at least obviously from Man City at halftime. Kyle Walker going to drive inside here. We'll get a nice option from Jesus, who does have two members around him. De Bruyne tries an intricate flick there. It does not come off. We'll simply roll into Lopez's waiting arms. He will pick that one up and look to send Lyon down the field. Header there won by, I believe, Depay. Going to be spun around by Garcia. Seemed to be an unnecessary spin. He's a little distraught as well, but it's actually going to be a free kick for Lyon here. You can see initially actually won by Depay. Then upon locating it, that looked a little weird from Depay, if I'm not gonna lie. Seemed to kind of twirl himself a little bit. I'm sure Garcia had probably a handful of his jersey, as most defenders do. Now Depay going to take this 30-yard strike on. We'll just knock it into the wall. Again, very difficult to score from that distance, but can't hurt to try. As Sterling going to be run off of this one. It will go out for a Lyon throw. So still dealing with some of these threats pretty well are the Lyon defenders. Throw into Aouar here. We'll knock it back to Marcelo. Now out to Marçal. It's rode off the ball by Rodri. Gundogan's pass is tough for Sterling. He will lose out to a retreating Marçal, and Marcelo will reset to Lopez, who will knock it long. Camby wins the flick on here. It will be cleared by Kyle Walker. Aggressive leap there from Marcelo, and that will be a foul on him. City will try to restart quickly, but the referee actually going to pull this one back. Yeah, pretty unnecessary challenge there from Marcelo, jumping right over Jesus, who was clearly in a better position than him. Now, Laporte with some room to work here. We'll look inside for Jesus. Takes a pretty good first touch. We'll find Cancelo on the wide. He will cross with his weaker left foot. This one is floated
all the way across to Kyle Walker, who will bring it down. He's met by Cornet. There's a crossing from Fernandinho. It also is floated towards the back post. This one will be headed out to safety by Dubois, but it will go for a Man City corner kick. De Bruyne coming out here to take this one as well. You've seen most of his corners be aimed at this near post, so look for a run across the face of goal. Here comes the corner kick. It's actually going to go long here this time, and this one also going to be cleared out to safety by none other than Dubois. So 2 in a row here. Not really sure what was behind him, so just going to dive and make sure this one goes wide once again. But it will be another corner kick from De Bruyne, this time from the opposite side. De Bruyne's corner kick here going to become a little bit deeper. Not a very good corner. It finds Cacare's head at the top of the 18. He will easily knock that one away. Return pass from Walker into De Bruyne. Actually going to find Fernandinho up the field here. He's being dragged back by Cornet, and they will call a foul here on Fernandinho. I think he is a bit unlucky. It looks like he was originally dragged by Cornet, but not enough to grab the referee's attention. And then Fernandinho, upset at that, goes in very aggressively and will get called for the foul there. Once again, Fernandinho is on a yellow card and has fouled a couple of people, so will need to watch himself and be a little cautious here for the remainder of this half. You see Riyad Mahrez here getting ready for Manchester City at the 53-minute mark, so Pep finally ready to make a shift here and try to shake things up a little bit. Yeah, okay, he just steps on Cornet there. That one does hurt a lot with metal cleats. You can see him trying to run that one off. It's not going to feel great. Header one here by Rodri. Gabriel Jesus trying to retreat, but will lose out. This one's really high up. Laporte is looking for it. It's actually going to escape him. Depay will get the kick, but his pass won't connect with one of his teammates. It'll end up at Garcia's feet, and now it's wide to Walker with a little bit of room here. First touch is too large. It's taken off him by OR. Now Cornet running the other way into OR. He can't quite get on top of it. Gundogan going to win the ball in midfield. Comes out here to Cancelo. You can see De Bruyne making a run out to the left here. Cancelo going to cut back inside. Sterling is open on the far post, but this floated pass from Cancelo, very poor, does not find his teammate. It will be stripped off OR by Rodri, who will find Walker, but a missed opportunity there to find Sterling in some space. Now Laporte looking inside. Will just find Cancelo outside. He's 1v1 with Dubois here inside the box. Now left-footed cross will be deflected. It will go out for another Manchester City corner. Substitution will be made here by City. Riyad Mahrez is going to be coming on for Fernandinho, and I think this one makes sense both from a tactical and structural perspective. Fernandinho again kind of on maybe his last warnings here with that yellow card and a couple of fouls, maybe tiring as well, and captain's armband going to go over to De Bruyne. Also need a little bit more attacking impetus, which Riyad Mahrez will be able to provide. Very creative dribbler. Is this corner kick routine from City not going to plan? Cornet going to end up winning this one off of Sterling and will draw a foul on him as well. Pretty well done by the left back for Lyon here, but we'll see how the shape kind of changes now. I would guess that City will go back to more of a 4-3-3 here. With Fernandinho gone, you can play Garcia and Laporte in the two center back slots, play Cancelo and Kyle Walker as traditional fullbacks, and run a midfield three of Gundogan, Rodri, De Bruyne with Sterling on the left and Mahrez out on the right here. So we'll take a look at the shape, but we do see Walker in a more withdrawn position. Now you see the midfield three of Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne, and Mahrez out on there on the left. Jesus alone up top. So it is a 4-3-3 now for City. So we'll be giving up some midfield pressure probably in exchange for some more attacking creativity and impetus, as a little bit of a play here in the midfield from Rodri and Gundogan results in a turnover, and Rodri forced to bring down, I believe, Guimaraes there, and will receive a yellow card for the infringement. Yep, is Guimaraes here is very late to the challenge, just very clumsy. He'd already turned over possession. Yeah, just clips the back of his leg there, and easy yellow card. Pep's not happy about it. Lopez will get the game started again, looking long to the left. Good flick on here from Akambi, but it will not find his teammate. Will go out of bounds. Rudy Garcia still sitting in the same position he was at the beginning, still writing notes on his pad. Rudy's in the lead here, should be feeling pretty happy about what he's seen so far. Cancelo looks to restart this one. We'll just go to Sterling and we'll clear it up the field, looking for Riyad Mahrez. Cornet will win the header. De Bruyne looking as a header wide for Walker, but not really reading the situation as Walker. Reading it well is Mahrez, and he will come back, win possession, and then get fouled by Owar. Sorry, it might be Alwar. Yeah, it's probably Alwar, I'm realizing. We'll do that from now on. Ball shifted across here to Laporte. Now Gundogan. Oh, that's a foul for sure there, as Marcelo just way too early into the challenge into Jesus. Will knock him over, and that will be a free kick about 23 yards out from goal here. Yep, can see Marcelo already challenging Jesus before the ball has even arrived. Easy call there for the referee. And this will give De Bruyne a decent chance to shoot here, I would imagine. He's in potentially a little bit deeper than normally he would take it from, but is a pretty decent shooting position here, and he can absolutely hit them. It is on the right side for him as well. I would not expect Mahrez to take this one from sort of the Manchester City's left side of the goal. I guess the goalie perspective, the right side of the goal. So I would look for De Bruyne to try to whip this one towards that left-hand corner here. We'll be setting up for it. Mahrez is with him. Caqueret briefly on the ground. Here comes De Bruyne. Will whip this one towards the left. Lopez with a nice push save. And the follow-up effort from Cancelo, not very good. Will escape all of his teammates, but Rodri going to come away with it here, but will be called for, I believe, a handball. Here's the free kick once again. Gets some pretty good power on it. Does get it up and down, but it's just not put in the right location. Lopez always guessing he was going that direction as well, so pretty well handled from the goalkeeper, but just not enough direction to get it towards the upper part of the net and really challenge the Lyon goalkeeper. Throw-in now taken by Cancelo to restart the match, as comes out here to Walker. Walker looking for an option. Just going to launch this one long towards Mahrez, who does manage to bring it down. Will be in a 1v1 here. Will absolutely torch Marçal once, now twice. Marçal does get back in front of him. Beats him again, gets inside the box. His cross is deflected. He's asking the referee there, as it did look like there was a push-off on Marçal. Marçal looked very unbalanced that entire time defending Mahrez there. Does manage to just do enough to stop him entering the box. Now Gundogan back into Mahrez. Will flick it on into Jesus. Out to De Bruyne. Sitting here with Dubois. Will clip this one towards the back post. It's just a little too far for Sterling. And Cornet will let it run past the goal line for a goal kick. This is decent energy overall, though, from Man City. You can see the tempo. You can see they feel a little more natural in the 4-3-3. They're moving pretty well. Mahrez making a pretty quick start to the match here. They may have a little bit more structural weakness to the 3-5-2 in midfield as the match wears on here, with so many potential options in midfield with the wing backs, but they are looking comfortable with their movement in the 4-3-3 so far and have looked fairly dangerous. Lyon collecting this one. Going to look long, but it can be not on the same page with Caqueret. It will escape him here. Now Garcia. Laporte. Just move this one all the way up as far as Depay allows. I'm going to go long instead towards Mahrez. They're looking for this 1v1. Marçal going to come off second best in the header there, but retreating Cornet will be fouled by Kyle Walker. Cornet asking for a yellow card, claiming multiple fouls on Walker, putting up 3 fingers to try to indicate the amount of times he feels he has been clipped by the Man City right back. For now, Walker will escape the book. So this one sprayed across the field to the left. The header won by Cancelo, but will go out for a throw-in. Sitting at 62 minutes here, we've had a substitution for City. Mahrez has come on for Fernandinho. They reverted back to a 4-3-3. Have looked pretty decent in it so far, but still good amount of time to go as Mahrez is going to come here to meet Marçal, who's just going to take a long shot from about 30. He will put it on target, but never going to test Ederson from that range without something truly spectacular. And at the end of the day, this one is just right at him in the middle of the goal frame. So easy save there for Ederson to pad his stats with, as this ball will now come out to Walker. He's going to cut inside, finds Mahrez, does have Guimaraes for company. Will be reset into the midfield with Gundogan. Gundogan tries to poke to De Bruyne. It's deflected by Caqueret. Eventually does find its way to De Bruyne. His pass does not connect with Jesus. Header will be won here by Laporte. Sprays up into the air. Caqueret tries to knock it down, but it's picked off by Rodri. Flicked over to De Bruyne. He does bring it down here. Finds a nice pass into Jesus. Jesus around Marcelo will get taken down. De Bruyne carries on. He sets himself inside. His shot is deflected, and now the foul will be called on Marcelo. Another great shooting chance here from a dead ball for Kevin De Bruyne. This one even closer than the last one, just about 20 yards, and Marcelo going to see a yellow card as well here. So again, City looking pretty good so far in this formation change. They look sharp. They've been connecting well and starting to look a little bit more dangerous. Gabriel Jesus for sure looking a little more invigorated now that he is in a more comfortable spot, isolated up front in that true striker position. Yeah, it's just clumsy from Marcelo for sure. Just leaves his leg in there as Jesus shifts it past him. Certainly a card or certainly a foul, and I do think worthy of the yellow card there. So Lopez now setting his wall up, asking for a little bit to the left. De Bruyne is standing over this one. They have Caqueret now behind the wall as well to make sure there is no under the wall sort of shot attempt we've seen a couple of times in the past from players like Cristiano Ronaldo. But I think De Bruyne will be happy to try to knock this one over the wall here. I think he can get it up and over. You can see Mahrez also standing over this one. Here comes De Bruyne. Whips it actually to the right, but doesn't quite get the connection he wants. Does catch Lopez moving a little bit to his left, but doesn't quite whip it. Doesn't quite get over it enough, and that one will sail high and wide of the right-hand post. Lyon restarting here, looking long for a Cambi, but it's way too far for him. Ederson will simply pick it up, and the pressure is starting to mount a little bit here on Lyon. There is some tempo in the favor of Man City. They look decent on the offensive end. They're finding better passes and space in between the lines, and they do have much more dangerous, I would say, possession than they did in the first half. So maybe something needs to change for Rudy Garcia, or maybe just an injection of some energy to try to stem the tide here, as this one's going to come out to Walker. Better here from Lyon as they are forcing Man City back. Laporte will pick this one up. He will look wide. Cancelo. De Bruyne offering an option wide, but will look inside for Gundogan. Gundogan will push this one forward. Does have a Cambi for company. He will just be dragged back and fouled by a Cambi. Looks like a substitution is getting ready here for Lyon, but play has resumed before they can get it. Cancelo going to reset to Garcia now. Garcia into Rodri. Rodri looking for an option here. We'll cut back inside. Play it to Laporte. Laporte looking up, trying to find the right pass here. So far, it's only as far as Eric Garcia. Now, Garcia dribbles up. Hits Walker. Over to Laporte. Still looking for an angle here. This one's going to go long up the channel, but this looks like it's a little bit too far for Cancelo. He's a little frustrated with Laporte there. So maybe just running out of patience a little bit was the center back, and substitution still will not be made here by Lyon. Happy to continue on as we approach the 68th minute here. 67:20 on the clock. This long ball will be won by City. It comes to De Bruyne's feet, but poked off of him by a collection of Lyon players. This one tried to be played in behind Walker, but nowhere near good enough. Walker able to recover, knock this one back to Ederson. A lot of Lyon players actually up the field now, trying to make it a little bit harder for City to play out. Garcia going to find a nice pass into De Bruyne. He's got space to run now. There's an option here on the right. Cutting inside onto his left foot, takes a shot. It's blocked by Denier. And I have to say it's a pretty greedy decision there by De Bruyne. Did have a nice run, I believe, from Sterling. Sorry, it was Mahrez on the right-hand side there. Was available. Now Walker picking it up and will dribble in, will go down, but will not receive a call. Good hold-up play here from Depay. It's poked off of him, eventually won by Laporte. Comes inside to Mahrez. Mahrez poked off him by Caqueret. Does manage to get it back to, I believe this is Cancelo. Finally, some space for De Bruyne to run, and again, I think makes the greedy decision to go alone and shoot on his weaker foot. There were runners around him. Did hold on to the ball long enough for Lyon to really collapse the space, but probably a big mistake there by Lyon. Is this a nice chip pass into Sterling's path? He's going to get there. He will beat Denier. All ends up again. Looking for the top of the box. De Bruyne shoots. He scores! And Man City level the game. It's a brilliant play from the Sky Blues. And Sterling once again is a nightmare for Jason Denier. He cannot handle Raheem Sterling at all. And De Bruyne is spot on as always, leveling this one at 1 apiece. Look at it here once again. Ball comes in to Jesus. He brings it back. A beautiful chip pass, and Sterling absolutely destroys Denier on the baseline. He finds the on-rushing Kevin De Bruyne, who will not miss from that spot. Oh, this is brilliant from Sterling. Sells the fact that he's going to cross it first time. Denier jumps in really over enthusiastically. It's a great pass back to De Bruyne. It's on the ground. It doesn't bounce. De Bruyne makes no mistakes and buries it into the far right corner. No chance for Lopez. Brilliant goal there from Man City. And you can see this formation change for Pep Guardiola really paying off as here they come again. This pass for Sterling is picked off by Denier. Decent hold-up play here from Depay. He will draw a foul on Garcia, who did have him wrapped. And Gundogan not happy, but have to agree, with the referee there. A lot of arms around, and a nice effort here from Akambi. Not going to get a foul call as he looks for the assistant referee. Thought he got clipped, but do think he may just have had a little egg on his face as he realized that Man City's center back there was wise to his little flick around Cancelo. This one going to be played long now by Marçal. Kyle Walker misreading it. Cornet's in behind again here. Cornet goes down in the box. Looks to the referee. They are upset, but there is no call here. The referee waves him away. He looks fairly confident of it. We'll see this on the replay. Cornet was always at a tough angle to shoot there and didn't have a lot of support. Not sure he would have been able to get a shot on target despite being a little bit behind Walker, but I will hold judgment for the replay that I'm sure we will see in a couple minutes. Meanwhile, Gundogan will move it back into De Bruyne, who finds this half space again on the left. Now Cancelo one-on-one with Dubois. He will have it knocked away for a corner kick, and here we go. Here's the replay. A little bit of hands-on for Cornet. Yeah, absolutely nothing there. Cornet is just looking for anything. His angle's getting closed down despite being a couple steps past Walker. Walker just puts his hands onto Cornet's body. Really no push at all, I would say. And Cornet looking definitely for a penalty there, and appropriately the referee does not give him one. Meanwhile, De Bruyne with the corner kick here goes into the center of the box. It is headed away nicely by Marcelo. Caqueret will get there first and will actually find Aouar streaking up the field here. Aouar in between two defenders, doing a nice job holding on to this one. He breaks a tackle. He sent the ball in behind, but Ederson is there first and will clear it away. Lovely play there by Aouar, getting past 2 or 3 Man City players, but his pass does not connect with Akambi. And now De Bruyne has it at his feet. Gabriel Jesus here on the left side. We'll look inside to Riyad Mahrez. Going to be back to Jesus. One-on-one here with Dubois. Completely alone. We'll get inside Dubois into the box. Going to take a shot at the near post. Great save by Lopez at the near post. And Gabriel Jesus looks like a player revived in this 4-3-3. He has been very good since the shift of formation, setting up Sterling for that run in behind, taking on Dubois with confidence here and forcing a nice save out of Anthony Lopez. De Bruyne now back at the corner. Going to go short here this time to Cancelo. We'll send it back to him. Going to cross this one in from deep towards Lopez. Nice catch there by the Lyon goalkeeper. Looking for a fast break here. Is going to find Aouar. Aouar going to cut it back. Look across the field towards, believe that's Cornet, but Cornet's header is a little bit too far out of his path, and Ederson happy to come out of his box and collect possession again. Again, Ederson very good with his feet, not afraid to come out and deal with things without his hands. And now it does find De Bruyne out here on the left once again. Man City will just settle it down as we've had an energetic last couple of minutes here. Not quite back and forth, but a lot of chances. Great ball out here to De Bruyne and a great touch from him. He is now with Dubois, stuck in the corner, looking for some help. We'll bring it back. We'll find. And they're going to call a foul on De Bruyne here. And he's a little confused, as am I. Maybe calling him for a bit of a push-off of some sort. And we will have a substitution here for Lyon. I'll get this one to you in a second, but looks like Dubois going to be subbed out here for Kenny Tete. Probably Tete, actually. Sorry. I think this probably is a good substitution. Dubois looked to be tiring. Had been struggling in the 1v1 with Gabriel Jesus as well as Cancelo as well as De Bruyne, really. And we will see Depay substituted here as well as Moussa Dembele going to come on and try to offer another strong target up the field along with Akambi. I think Depay has put in a pretty decent shift today, has been asked to play underneath Akambi, not so much to make runs into channels, and has done a fairly good job of dealing or holding up play and trying to connect play with Akambi, but may just be tiring at this point in the match and may have lost a little bit of effectiveness with City sort of rising to a higher level in this second half. But immediately Dembele involved will hold up play pretty nicely, but eventually Man City will win out here. De Bruyne now on the left, looking inside, connects with Sterling. Sterling has some room to work. Going to look here to Gabriel Jesus, one-on-one with Denier. Will look for a quick shot. It's deflected by Marcelo. Comes back to Jesus. He shoots. It's blocked again and kept inside by Marcel. Very nicely done. Sorry, that is Tete. Good defending there by Lyon. Both Marcelo and Tete keeping that ball in play. And Pep Guardiola is nearly on the field here, stopping Cancelo from taking a quick throw-in into the corner, letting his team reset. We're at 75 minutes, and you can feel the energy in this one now. Man City, once again, level now 1-1. They are the team in the ascendancy here. They do need another goal, and you can kind of feel it coming a little bit with the pressure, although that one will escape. Cancelo go out of bounds for a throw-in. Lyon has just made a couple of changes to try to shift this match. Moussa Dembele being introduced. Tete coming on here at left back to try to shore up that side of the field. And we'll see if those changes by Rudy Garcia have a positive effect on their play, as this header pretty short here by Marcelo. Won by Gabriel Jesus. Just going to take a quick shot, but kind of mishits it and gets the right side of his foot a little bit too much on it. It skews out to the right and harmlessly away for a goal kick. As we mentioned, Jesus has looked a lot better since we went to a 4-3-3. Maybe not having his space crowded as much, feeling like he can stay higher with wingers around him and try to receive higher up the field, not needing to check back as much. As nice clip out here to Tete from Marcelo. He's closed down by two Man City players. Will win the tackle against De Bruyne. We'll look up the field. We'll go long here. Decent ball into Cornet, but it's well won by Walker. And now Mahrez quickly up the field, and it's a 2-on-1 here on the left. Sterling running at Marcelo. Definitely has the pace. Stops himself short, cuts back, looking for something to do here. 2 defenders on him, going to clip it to the back post. Jesus is open. Jesus' shot. He mishits it. It goes straight into the ground and over the goal. A very nice ball from Raheem Sterling, but Jesus misses his connection again and cannot get the shot on target. Couple of Man City players there with their head in their hands. It was a good pickup from Sterling, who seemed to have been closed down by a combination of Marcelo and I believe Guimaraes there, but did a nice job clipping one to Jesus on the back post, but not able to connect with that one the way he would have wanted. This long ball by Lopez will simply skip out of play, and you can really feel it now. Rudy Garcia off of his seat, animated, talking to his players. There is a lot of pressure mounting on this Lyon side. They cannot hold the ball, and Man City's possession is very dangerous now. They are breaking through lines. They are getting runners in behind. It feels like a goal is coming here, and Lyon needs to change something to avoid that. Because he's 71% possession here in the last 15 minutes, and 8 total attempts from Man City. Here's a nice pickoff, and he is offsides this time. Oh, he's a Camby. Actually, he's going to leave it now. Maybe onside here is Dembele. Looks to shoot to score. He will! And I think that's going to stand. A huge mistake from Man City. They try to play the high line again, and I think they're going to be punished for it again. As Dembele will score here, we have 2-1 on the scoreboard. It, of course, will be checked. But I think they have done it to my eyes. This is a leave here as a bad mistake from Laporte. Is picked off by Kakare. Goes inside. The pass to Akambi. He's certainly offsides, but Dembele is not. He does clip Laporte here, and I think that may just save Man City as Laporte goes down under the challenge and is unable to continue in the play. If that clip is adjudged, that would be the thing to save Man City for sure. Otherwise, he's certainly onside. They are checking the goal now. That's the only thing that could bring this back, is if they deem that a foul on Dembele. 79 minutes now. This will be a huge call. We've seen a sort of, again, far-sighted replay. We've seen Laporte go down. I haven't seen it up close, so I don't really know if it can be a foul or not. Again, Dembele is certainly onside. It can be intelligently leaving that one for his teammates. It's the referee in conversation with the VAR council here. Everyone trying to get their word in. And the check is over. The goal is going to stand. It is not a foul on Dembele, and Lyon will lead 2-1 with just 10 minutes to play. And I can't quite believe it. Man City were so far in the ascendancy here. So much pressure being put upon Lyon's defense. And one terrible mistake on a bad pass. Oh, and another one here as Kakare has picked this pass off. Akambi is wide. Going around Cancelo will get a corner for Lyon here. Let's take a look. Here's a better replay of it. Oh, and I do think it is correct. I think Laporte just kind of slips on his own power. And a decent finish from Dembele going through the legs of Ederson, who does get a piece of it, but not quite enough to keep it out of the goal. It does look like Dembele did not really make contact with Laporte there. So a huge mistake from Aymeric Laporte, both on the pass that allowed the through ball to Akambi initially, and then slipping as well, allowing Dembele in behind the defense. And it is now 2-1. And for the second time in 2 seasons, Laporte may make the critical mistake that gets Man City knocked out of the Champions League. Last year against Tottenham was robbed of possession twice, allowing Song Heung-min to score 2 goals for Tottenham in that epic match, eventually decided in the very last moments by Raheem Sterling's goal being called out by a VAR review. And now once again Laporte with the misplaced pass and with the slip, allowing Dembele to put Lyon back in the lead in this match. 81 minutes on the clock. We should have a healthy amount of stoppage time for 2 VAR checks and a couple of other things. I would imagine we are headed for 4 minutes of stoppage time. As Walker going to look wide. Now Mahrez. But a huge turn of events here as, again, Man City looked so much the better team, so much in the ascendancy. We're running downhill on Lyon, finally getting balls in behind, in the gaps, getting runners into channels, and just a huge let-off to have such a simple and terrible mistake cause a break at the other end. As another turnover here will have a long ball looking for it can be, but easily picked out by Ederson. It goes way too far. And now Kyle Walker will be in possession again. High line here from Lyon as Mara's going to pick this one up on the right. We'll look inside. Probably a foul here on Gabriel Jesus, and will be. So we have Marçal down on the ground. Jesus looking over him. Yeah, definitely being held here. Yes, a silly challenge from Marçal going underneath Jesus to try to poke that one away. Think Jesus may just fall on his leg a little bit as he reaches. So maybe in some legitimate pain here as another substitution going to be getting ready for Lyon. They just need to hold on for another 12 minutes or so, and they will be moving on to the Champions League semifinals. Again, here is the replay. Laporte's pass being picked off by Kakare. He looks inside for Aouar, whose initial pass, again, to Akambi is offsides, but the slip by Laporte allows Dembele in, and he's able to just squeak it by Ederson. Pep Guardiola absolutely distraught on the sideline, picking up a tuft of grass and throwing it around, not knowing what to do. As substitution here for Man City, David Silva will be coming on for Rodri to add a little bit of creativity, and Marçal finally hopping to his feet here. Yeah, just showing a little bit of a twist, confirming kind of his leg getting caught under Jesus's body there as he went to ground. Still will be a free kick here on the right side to Manchester City as we approach the 85th minute here. Just a minute left before that. You're 84-12. So Brown are now standing over this one. David Silva freshly introduced. Free kick will come into the back post. Lopez coming out of his box very nicely to grab that one. Will hold on. Rudy Garcia applauding on the sideline. Brown just getting this one a little too close, and at the end of the day, that's an easy catch for the Lyon goalkeeper. Now long ball out from Lopez. The second ball will be collected by Kakare, but one back by De Bruyne. His pass does not quite connect with Mahrez. Will now go chasing Marcelo, who will simply knock it back to Lopez. He will launch it long once again, this time towards the right side. It will go over the head of Cornet, whose name we have not called in quite a while. And Man City will restart with Eric Garcia. Now Laporte. Over to De Bruyne, who's in this deep half space now. We'll look inside to Mahrez. Challenged. Another clipped pass, but it's picked up by Cornet. It does fall to Gabriel Jesus here. Looks up. Will beat Cornet. Goes across and... Oh! I can't believe it! Sterling has missed a wide open goal from 3 yards out. Oh my word. Gabriel Jesus does everything at the far side. Has the beating of Cornet. Slides it across to a wide open Raheem Sterling, who is 3 yards out with an open net, and skies it. In the 80th minute of play. And for a man whose finishing has improved so much over the last 3 seasons, some of the criticisms that haunted him in his initial seasons with Man City now coming back to bite him as a bad finisher, as he skies an absolutely golden chance. And now Adelaide, newly introduced for Akambi here, will find on the wide side. He will take a shot. It will be spilled by Ederson, and it's scored by Dembele. And that will probably do it here. It is 3-1 to Lyon, and 2 catastrophic mistakes from Man City here in the past 2 minutes of play will probably see their Champions League here run end here to Lyon. Long ball comes in from Lopez here, the newly introduced Adelaide, once again in the mix here with Dembele. He comes away with it, looking wide for Oro, who will shoot. A terrible spill by Ederson. Dembele is onside. He simply comes in and taps this one into the empty net. And from one completely easy goal that is missed by Sterling on one end to this terrible spill by Ederson at the other. And Man City, instead of finding themselves even at 2-2, find themselves down 3-1 with only like 13 minutes to play. And it's honestly shocking to see some of these scenes right now. This has been such a turn again. Man City, such the better team in the second half, really in the ascendancy about 10 minutes ago. And a misplaced pass from Aymeric Laporte results in the second goal as he both misplaces pass and then slips while recovering. Man City still put their pedal back to the floor, get a couple of good chances, and then the chance created by Jesus for Raheem Sterling from 3 yards out with an open net that he skies. Great tackle here by Denier. And then just seconds later, after Lopez's restart, another terrible, terrible mistake by Ederson, leaving a very tame shot from Owar for Dembele to simply tap by him. And Man City find themselves down 2 goals here in the 88th minute. Balls come out now to Cancelo, into Sterling. Nice poke away here from Tete, I believe, and a great second challenge as well. Sorry, that's not Tete. I'm missing the name of this player. Give me 1 second here. Thiago Mendes. Must have missed that substitution. Apologize. Believe Thiago Mendes has come on for Bruno Guimaraes, by the way. So Man City will reset this one. Ederson now looking for Kyle Walker. Time is ticking on. 89 minutes, 30 seconds until we go into stoppage time. Should see about 4 minutes of stoppage time, I would guess, as this ball played into Sterling. Brought down by David Silva. This may be the last game of his in-city colors if they are to lose. Turned over here. Now Aouar will look wide to Dembele. Alone with Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker feigning going in. Dembele trying to beat him down the line for pace. Will get to the line. Kyle Walker does get inside of him. He has touched this ball. It's off of Kyle Walker. He needs to get up. Does get fouled. Garcia will reset it. There are 5 minutes of stoppage time here. 5 minutes for Man City to score 2 goals to try to save their season here. Will come out to De Bruyne now. He'll look inside. Good ball up the line, but it's read by Denier. Will be beaten to it by Sterling. He will knock it out for a throw. De Bruyne will throw it in to Garcia here. We'll come back to De Bruyne. Inside. Oh, nice split pass here, actually, to Cancelo. Will find Sterling. He'll turn. Has Denier for company. Will find De Bruyne again. Looking across for David Silva now. David Silva looking back inside. Spraying it back out to Cancelo. He is alone with Tete. Will cross it into the back post here. Headed away by Marcel. Falls to Mahrez, who will try to beat Dembele, but will fail. Sorry, this is Cornet. Cornet looking at the field. Dembele's on sides, but it is picked off by Garcia. He will keep this one in play and will probably reset to Ederson here. 1 minute gone in stoppage time. 4 minutes left for Man City to score twice to get this game to overtime. Here's Walker inside to Silva. Lyon happy to sit off and try to defend this for the last 3.5 minutes now. David Silva inside to De Bruyne. De Bruyne challenged by 2 players. Will have it ridden off of him, but does get it out to Cancelo. It looks like it will be a Lyon throw-in. And Rudy Garcia's men, after seeing away Juventus in that second leg, knocking out Cristiano Ronaldo, now up here against the Titans of Man City. You can see Cancelo's head is already in his hands with 3 minutes left to go here. So Lyon take their time with this throw and now looking to knock out the Titans Man City and move on to the semifinals against Bayern Munich. And we can see Marcel here on the ground looking like he has cramp, gesturing to the referee that his night might be over here. He's now back on his feet. Nope, not gesturing for the night over, just gesturing that he did not need the medical staff. May honestly be killing time, but can't really say, as Cancelo wins the throw, but it goes to Lyon. Now picked up by Silva. It's into Sterling's feet. Sterling drives forward. There are 3 players around him. He's probably going to get fouled here, and he will. We'll need to get on this one quickly. 2 minutes and 45 seconds are gone. Another 2 minutes in stoppage time. If Man City can score here, they may still have a chance. Yeah, easy clip there by Tete. Was always in a tough position, standing behind Sterling there. De Bruyne is setting up for this one. He may just put it right back onto Anthony Lopez, but again, I think someone needs to run across the goalkeeper to try to disrupt him. Referees notifying the players to calm down in the box a little bit. Here comes the free kick. We'll put it back in on Lopez, and he will tip it over the bar this time. Pretty good save as that one was hit in with some pace from De Bruyne. Ensuing corner kick. Looks deep here. Here comes Walker. Gets his head on it, but it is wide. Well read by Lopez. And now just a minute and 15 seconds remaining. So the Lyon goalkeeper will take his time. You can see Walker gets up well, gets a good head on it, but it is just wide, and Lopez sees it the whole way. The Man City players starting to see the reality of the situation. Cannot believe that this is the fashion in which they will go out of the Champions League once again. Kyle Walker now met by Aouar. Does a nice job challenging him. Will poke it off him. It will find the feet of Garcia, who's now challenged by Kakare. Dances past him. Looks wide. They're trying to stop the long ball from coming in. Eventually it does. It's laid up for Riyad Mahrez. It bounces off of, I believe, Marcelo. Will come wide to Cornet. He will look inside to Aouar. Does a nice job shielding. Sees Cornet making a run, but will hold up play. It's one back off him by David Silva. David Silva looking up. Finds a nice pass into Sterling. Sterling one-on-one with Denier here. Cuts back on top of the box. Goes past Denier. Shoots. It's deflected. And it will go wide. Should be a corner kick here. 5 minutes of stoppage time have passed. Man City need to score here to have any chance to level this match. De Bruyne's corner is caught by Lopez, and that will do it. The referee has blown the final whistle. Lyon are winners here by a score of 3-1, and after knocking Juventus out of the Champions League, they follow up by taking out Man City, probably the second favorite team to take it behind Bayern Munich. And now we are left with just 4. It will be Bayern Munich against Lyon in one semifinal and PSG against Leipzig in the other. Moussa Dembele coming on here, scoring 2 goals in just a 12-minute appearance plus stoppage time. Absolutely justifying the decision of his manager, but you have to look at Man City and say the disastrous mistakes have cursed them yet again. In control of the match, back on level terms at 1-1. A horrendous pass from Aymeric Laporte and a following slip result in the second goal, and an absolutely terrible rebound off of Ederson on a tame shot from Aouar result in the third. And Gabriel Jesus here beside himself did play extremely well after the shift to a 4-3-3, but that again will do it. Man City are out of the Champions League, and despite fortunately being able to play next season, They will not be happy with this result. Thank you once again for joining me here, listening to this live cast of Man City versus Lyon in the Champions League quarterfinals. I will be ending the broadcast here. We'll be probably back on for the semifinals next week. I'm not sure when they'll start. I need to check the schedule. But excited to potentially cast those games. And I hope that you will join me for those as well. If you've enjoyed what I've been doing here, please leave a like, comment, and a follow. If you think you have friends that would like what I do, please let them know so they can follow as well. Any and all support is welcome. And if you have any feedback or constructive criticism as well, please let me know. I'm still trying to work on my voice, my commentary style, and try to work on just moving forward to become a better broadcaster. So once again, thank you for all of your attention and all of your feedback, and we'll be joining you next time for the cast. With that, we'll end the sort of broadcasting here and go into a little bit of the match opinions. Okay, so that was pretty nuts. Man City's out, and Micah Richards is on the bench right now, and he's pretty distraught. Yeah, Man City have blown up again. I can't believe it. Now that PSG have actually made it to a semifinal, I guess Man City are the cursed Champions League team because they just can't win. I mean, they were bad in the first half. They weren't good, for sure. Lyon wasn't much better. They were just, solid. They were doing what they wanted to do, right? Lyon was. And they had the lead, right? They got the lead off what was a pretty cheap goal, to be fair. All three of their goals tonight were cheap goals off of Man City mistakes. The first one, Kyle Walker's got his head in his ass, not looking at his line. His whole defense assumes the guy's offsides. He's not. And Kyle Walker then assumes the guy's offsides despite being the deepest guy and lets his man run by him and score. So that's the first one. The second half, Man City looked pretty good. They looked okay at the start. The shift to the 4-3-3 was huge. They looked so much better in the 4-3-3. I mean, Jesus did nothing in the first half, nothing. And once they shifted, he looked so good. He had space. He was checking in. He was making runs. He set up Sterling for the goal, right? Really, really good stuff from him. He was one of the best players in the second half, for sure. Sterling was still good in the second half, up until a certain moment. De Bruyne was finding better space. Mars' introduction was good. All those things were good. They looked like they were going to win the game. It was 1-1. It was they're way better. They were playing way better. And fucking Laporte choked it again. Second year in a row. He choked it again. Made a terrible pass and then slipped. 2-1. Your momentum's dead. And then Ederson chokes it. I think Ederson's head was in his ass today too, to be honest. I don't know what he was doing on the first goal. He comes out to defend Akanji. I get it. But then no shifting, no awareness, no alertness, just Garcia won the tackle. Oh, Cornet shooting. Oh, it's in. Oh shit. He didn't try any. He didn't dive. What's with the nonchalance? It's almost like he thinks he's an outfield player sometimes. It's just oh, I guess I can't do anything anymore. I mean, the rebound on the third goal is pathetic. Our shot was tame at best. Easily savable, should be held. He just fucking drops it. Here you go, you can score. Here you go, just put it on a platter for you. Unreal. Okay, let's go through the match ratings. To summarize the match, Lyon were solid. They executed the game plan well. Akanji was very good. Was a nuisance to them. Aouar was very good. Their defense was solid, except for Denier. I think Denier was bad. Denier had a rough time with Sterling. But they executed the game plan well in the first half. They got their goal. They were okay at the beginning of the second half, and then they were in trouble. Man City got to the 4-3-3, and they looked good. They looked really good. They looked like Man City should look in this matchup, and they were in trouble. And Man City should have gone on to win the game after scoring that first goal and tying it up, and then they just fucked it. That's basically the way to summarize the match. Let's go through the player ratings here. Okay. Let's see if I agree with FootMob today. Okay, so we'll start with Man City. Ederson, 3.9. Yeah, I'm on board with that. I think you give him a 3. Absolutely. 3 or 4.
Not a ton you could do about the second goal, I guess. I mean, he did get a piece of it, but like he was in such a bad spot, like left to die by his defense one-on-one. Did get megged, so not great. First goal he could have done so. He just looked like he wasn't there. Like he wasn't trying on these shots. He wasn't like setting his feet. He wasn't shifting. He wasn't like alert like Lopez was. He just like he looked like a dude who was like hungover that like just didn't want to be there. He looked like he wanted to like be home watching TV. Like honestly, I mean, you watch his reaction to the first goal when Eric Garcia wins the tackle against Akambi. That fucking spill on the third goal is just atrocious. It's the kind of thing that I was center back. I would have my goalkeeper's head on a platter for that kind of like rebound. Are you kidding? Like he's a professional goalkeeper and he leaves that rebound in a Champions League quarterfinal. Give me a break. 3. Yeah, fair. Fernandinho, 6.4. I think that's way too high. I think Fernandinho was the weakest of the 3 outside backs. He got a yellow card early in the match. He looked slow. He looked indecisive. He looked off the pace. He looked angry the whole match. Was subbed off, I think, appropriately, both for avoiding getting a red card and also just wasn't playing well. I think he should get a 4. Eric Garcia, 5.7. Five or 6 is fair. I think this is fair. I'd say Garcia availed himself well for most of the match. The only one that tried on the first goal, ran all the way back, won the challenge against Akambi. Was again left out to dry for the second one. Nothing you could do about the third one. That's all Ederson. I mean, they're on the break. It's all Ederson. I think he dealt fine with most of the situations. I think Akambi was more of a nuisance for Walker, Fernandinho, and Laporte than him. So I think it's fair, but again, he's part of a defense that didn't do great. Laporte has a 6.2. I disagree with this. I think up until that mistake, you could give him a 6. After that, you give him a 5. He availed okay. I think he struggled with Akambi a little bit more than Garcia did sometimes. Did well against Depay, I would say. But he blew it for the second year in a row. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. He made a terrible pass. Kakare watched it the whole time. Then he slipped. Gave away the game. I mean, you could play a great game as a center back. You could play an Upamecano match, right, from Leipzig, up until that point, and have like a 9, and then make that mistake, and I'm going to give you a 7. Like, you lost the match. You made a terrible mistake. You lost the match. It's obviously not all on him, but like that play is like 98% on him. Like, he lost the ball and then slipped. So no, too high. Kyle Walker, 7.0. 6. I think 7's a little. Oh yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, 6. If you ignore his mistake for the first goal, I'd say he was pretty good. Fared well against Cornet in general. Outside of the first 30 minutes of the match, 30, 40, like 30-ish minutes of the match, I'd say Cornet had his number. 5.5 actually. That mistake for the first goal is so bad. He's 4 yards deep of his defense. His head's up his ass, and then he doesn't run back because his head's still up his ass. That's a goal. And if I'm going to punish Laporte similarly and give him like a 5.5 for giving up a goal, then Walker deserves it too. So too high on Walker. De Bruyne, 7.9. I think that's fine. I think De Bruyne more like a 7.5 kind of, like 7.5 to 8. He wasn't like at his best today. He was much better in the second half, and towards the end of the first half, pretty good. He was just limited for space, right? He was looking for it. You could see him running around, looking for it, trying to pick up the ball, trying to influence the match. And eventually he did have some influence on the match. Scored the goal. Oh, he scored the goal very nicely. Yeah, 8. 8's good. It's a good rating. I think 7.9's fine. 6.5 for Rodri, too high. 6. 6, I think. Just did his job, mostly. Wasn't really responsible for the first goal. Nothing could do about the second. Got a yellow card. One header's generally there to screen the defense. I mean, he was never going to be involved in this match because Lyon was knocking balls over the top. And so he was only there to like pick up second balls and keep possession. And he's never the kind of guy that's going to like zip a ball in behind and like create a chance. So just give him a 6.
Gundogan, same thing, 6. Just his job. Didn't do anything out of the ordinary. Didn't do anything terrible. Just a 6. Cancelo on a 7, I think is actually fair. I think Cancelo, well, he struggled a little bit with a combi on defense. He didn't do anything egregious. None of the goals came from his side or his fault. And he was generally pretty involved in the attack along with Sterling in the first half. They were definitely the two best players in the first half. And I think he availed himself pretty decently. Not as well as some of the other players, but a 7. Sterling at a 6.8, I think that's unfair. I think Sterling's a 7.5. Again, the only mistake Sterling made all match was missing a 3-yard sitter. He missed a 3-yard sitter. I mean, in a Champions League quarterfinal, it's atrocious, obviously. But Sterling was really good in this match up until that point. He was giving Denier fits. Denier could not handle him. Like, Denier hated his life. Every time Sterling ran to the left channel and Cancelo would slip a ball to him, Denier was in trouble. He got scorched by Sterling like 3 times, got scorched by him for the goal. Like, Sterling was just straight up better than me. Here's this first one. Sterling just made his day awful. And I'll tell you what, if Sterling making your day awful today, you better watch out for Bayern. Because that left side is Alphonso Davies and Gnabry. If you struggled today really badly, they are going to eat your lunch. Like, oh my God. So Denier really struggled with that. So I think Sterling still gets a 7.5 for me. It's, again, it would be an 8, 8.5 if not for, again, missing the equalizing sitter set up by Jesus. Jesus is at a 7. I think he deserves a 7, 7.5 as well. Really bad in the first half. Would have had him at like a 4. Once they changed to a 4-3-3, totally different. So active, dropping in, getting possession, making channel runs, holding up play, getting fouls, sets up that beautiful pass to Sterling to set up to Brown for the goal, sets him up for the miss on the shank. Really good second half from Gabriel Jesus. So 7, 7.5. Yeah. We'll move over to Lyon. Let's see here. Okay. Depay, 6.3. I think a 6 is fair for Depay. He sort of was asked to do a job today where he's going to hold up play, drop deeper, and if a Cambi lost a header or they needed to play a ball, they weren't going to play it into a Cambi seat. They were going to play it into Depay. And so he was asked to do basically a sacrificial job to let a Cambi run and be a nuisance, and I think he did that fairly well. Didn't really get too involved in the match, but I think he did his job. Cambi, they have a 5.8. I think 6.65 is maybe fair for him. He was an annoyance. I mean, he at the end of the day, and this on the third goal, like the clever, he knows he's offside, so he just fucking leaves it for Dembele, which is really smart. I think Akambi was a thorn in the side of City all day. He won headers well. He ran into channels. He chased everything. He won a lot of balls. He alleviated a lot of pressure. He created some dangerous moments in the first half as well. He's clever on this third goal. I think Akambi was good until he was subbed. So I think he's a 6.65. I think you could even give him a 7, and I wouldn't blink. So I think that might be a little low for him. Cornet, 7.8. I think that's fair. Defended well on his side generally. Walker was never getting by him. He was much more effective in the first half than the second. Again, you heard me at one point say in the second half, I haven't called his name in a while. But that's when City was just in complete control of the match. Obviously scored his goal well for the first one. I think an 8's fine. 8's solid for him. Aouar, 8 as well. The most dangerous player in the midfield for them. The one asked to do the most, create some chances, hold on to the possession, get fouled, maybe give us a spark. And I'm not sure if he was directly involved in any goal except for the third. I don't think he was. But he was pesky. He was a nuisance. He was playing good passes in. He was dribbling around Man City players, drawing fouls, doing good stuff, particularly in the first half. So I'd give him an 8. Bruno Guimaraes, 6.8's too high. He's similar to Gundogan. He just did a job. He didn't do anything outside of that. Never created anything. Didn't do anything horrible. Didn't do anything good. He gets a 6. Right, that's the standard one. Kakare gets a 6. Same exact thing. Actually, 6. Does his job. Could even give him a 5.5 because I think he was even less involved than Guimaraes, but he may make up for it for picking off that Laporte pass and setting up the second goal. Dubois, 7.0, too high. Dubois had a really rough time and got tired very quickly. His first half was good. His second half was not. He got dribbled around by Jesus multiple times. He got dribbled around by Sterling multiple times. He got dribbled around by De Bruyne once. Similar to Denier, I think he struggled with some of the pace and power from the City players. 7-0 is too high. I'd give him a 6 or 5.5. Denier, 6-7, way too high, 5. He was the worst defender of all 5 of them by a long margin. There's a reason that DeBruyne switched from the right side to the left side. It's because Dubois was tiring and because Denier was getting scorched by Sterling. So DeBruyne sees it and says, well, hey, I'm going to go over here and try to pick up possession, and did a better job of it. Why did he do that? Because Denier was the worst defender of the 5 of them. Dubois was the second worst defender of the 5 of them. Denier gets a 5. Dubois gets like a 5, 5.5. Marcelo gets a 6, 6.5. Had a couple clunky moments, but at the end of the day, did enough to be solid. You could even give him a 7, and I wouldn't argue with you. Marçal gets a 7, 7.5. He was solid. He was in a lot of places, making a lot of important blocks, played the pass for the first goal, was creative, industrious, strong, generally did a very nice job. If I'm rating their defenders as a whole, it's Cornet 1, Marçal 2 by some distance, and then Marcelo solid, and then Denier and Dubois very questionable. Anthony Lopez really good. Not much you can do on the goal. I think that's a great shot from DeBruyne. Handled all of DeBruyne's free kicks really well. Caught really well. Made one mistake all match, I think, and made up for it with a great save afterwards. Just a complete polar opposite to Ederson. So engaged, so lively, off his line quickly. Just looked there. Just looked like a solid professional goalkeeper. Well done to Anthony Lopez. 8-0. I think that's fair. All right, subs. Tete, 5-8. A little low. I think solid. Was better than Dubois for sure in his brief stint. 6-0 is fine. I think he did his job. Adelaide. I mean, might have been on too short for like a rating, but if you give him anything, it's a 7 because he helped set up the third goal. So, congrats. Thiago Mendes gets a 6. Came on, did his job. Moussa Dembele obviously gets an 8.5. Comes on, scores 2 goals. Even if they're set up by catastrophic mistakes by City, he still finishes them. He's still there. Gets 2 goals. Gets an 8.5. Congratulations. 12-minute, 8.5 rating. Nice. And Rudy Garcia can take that one to the bank as well. David Silva, not enough time to rate him. Riyad Mahrez, I think he was better than 6. I think he was a 6.5. I think he came on, and while he wasn't necessarily directly involved in a lot, he was a nuisance. He dribbled past a couple of those defenders pretty well. He dribbled past Marçal once or twice, actually, and just offered a different dynamic than they had with the Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne midfield in the 3-5-2. So I think his dynamic was good. I think he was pretty active. May not have directly contributed anything, but if you directly contributed to anything, right, then you're going to get like a 7, 7.5, 8. I don't think he did that, so he gets like a 6.5, but he did better than just like, I did my job. So he gets a decent rating. And that's it. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought of the ratings. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me. But well done to Lyon. And we're going to have some exciting semifinals here with a couple of teams that aren't usually around. So I'm picking Bayern PSG final here. But I could see Leipzig sneaking in there as well. I do still think Lyon's going to get there. There's a lot of terms you could say for how badly I think they're going to lose to Bayern, but I think Bayern is, now particularly with Man City out, I think Bayern's on another level from anyone else in this competition, and I really think the other teams are going to struggle to beat them. But we'll see. So I'll be back for you with the semifinal matches next week. I'll let you know on the schedule. But once again, thanks for joining. Thanks for listening to me go through player ratings, and let me know if you have any comments or feedback. Have a wonderful day.